All right, ready to dive deep. Today, we're exploring hypno-channeling. We're looking at a session from the HypnoVibes YouTube channel.
Hypno-channeling, yeah, it uses hypnosis. It helps people access deeper awareness, their higher consciousness, and, well, they can connect with and channel information from different entities or energies. It's pretty interesting.
So we're talking about like a whole other realm of knowledge and insight here.
Right,
Okay.
yeah.
In this session, we have Naomi, the hypnotist, guiding Jessica into this deeper state, and they connect with an entity. This entity is named Alto.
Yeah, they're connecting with Alto. Alto is described as being part of Naomi's spiritual team.
Spiritual team. That's an interesting term.
It is. It comes up a lot in various spiritual traditions, this idea that we have guides or entities working with us from a non-physical realm.
Okay, so let's jump right in. So Naomi describes seeing a blue being
Oh, yeah.
with a prominent forehead.
Okay.
And she's curious about what this being represents. So she asks Alto for clarification.
I mean, it makes sense. Even in this deep hypnotic state, there's still a level of conscious awareness, and analytical thinking. Naomi is actively trying to understand and interpret the information, right, that she's receiving.
And Alto's response is pretty interesting. Alto explains that this blue being is actually another version of Naomi herself, a guide, but not necessarily a spirit guide. So how do we interpret that?
Well, it seems like there are different types of guides and entities operating, within these realms. A spirit guide is, well, it's a distinct entity, right? While this blue being might represent something else, like an aspect of Naomi's higher self, or maybe a manifestation of her own consciousness. It's fascinating.
Yeah, there's nuance here in how Alto describes these different spiritual roles. It gets even more interesting when Naomi brings up Joshua.
Oh, right.
She describes Joshua as a being from a different timeline.
Okay.
And Alto's response here is important. Alto says that Joshua's presence serves a purpose. It's there to reflect something back to Naomi, to give her a teaching opportunity.
Wow.
It really makes you think, about the nature of our experiences. Could it be that the people and situations we encounter are actually reflections of ourselves, showing us things we need to learn or understand?
It's a powerful concept. Like, life is, a giant mirror.
Yeah.
Constantly reflecting back aspects of ourselves that we need to confront or integrate, I'd like to hear more about Joshua's role and what this reflection might be for Naomi.
Me too.
Yeah.
Definitely something we need to explore more. Let's shift gears a bit. Let's look at another topic that Naomi brings up. She's having some challenges, finding people who share her work style.
And energy.
I see. So she's expressing frustration about this.
Right. And Alto's response, well, let's just say it's a little unexpected. Alto suggests that Naomi's struggle is a recurring pattern, something that's, entertaining to observe from a higher perspective.
Entertaining. That's interesting.
Yeah. What does that even mean? For our struggles to be entertaining to beings in other realms? Are they learning something from our experiences? Is there like a sense of cosmic interconnectedness here, where our individual journeys are somehow part of a larger tapestry of growth and evolution? It's a lot to think about.
It really challenges our typical view of personal challenges. It's like Alto's suggesting that our struggles, well, are not just random events. They're purposeful experiences serving a greater good, even if we don't fully understand it.
Exactly. And it makes you wonder if our struggles are serving a purpose, even on a cosmic level. Does that diminish our personal experience of those challenges?
That's a tough one. I don't know. Just because something might have a greater purpose doesn't negate the very real emotions and difficulties that we experience as humans.
You're right. You're absolutely right. It's important to acknowledge that, to acknowledge the validity of our own experiences, even as we explore these broader perspectives. But maybe the idea here is that by reframing our challenges, we can approach them differently. If we see them as opportunities for growth, for understanding, we can approach them with a sense of greater purpose and resilience.
I like that. It's empowering. And it kind of aligns with the concept of reflection we talked about earlier. Maybe the struggles we face are actually reflecting back to us aspects of ourselves that need to be, addressed or transformed.
We're constantly given opportunities to learn and evolve, even through our most difficult experiences. And this connects with the idea of these spiritual teams that are working with us, offering support and guidance, even if we're not always aware of it, of their presence.
Okay, so we've talked about guides, we've talked about reflections, we've talked about the idea that our struggles might be part of a larger cosmic plan. Where do we go from here?
Well, there's still a lot to unpack in this session. Naomi brings up some pretty mind-blowing concepts, including the idea of alternate realities and the possibility of being monitored by unseen forces.
Hold on, monitored.
Yeah.
You have to elaborate on that one. That sounds like we're stepping into some X-Files territory.
Believe me, it gets pretty intriguing.
Monitored, huh? Okay, let's unpack that. Give me the details.
All right, so Naomi, she mentions this encounter, right, with a person she describes as soulless, but she doesn't really want to go into detail. She says she feels like she's being monitored.
Monitored. And what does Alto say about that?
Alto confirms it, yeah. Alto says this monitoring is happening to a lot of people, but the reasons are confidential.
Okay, whoa. That's getting a little spooky, don't you think? It's like there's this hidden layer of reality, you know what I mean? Like forces at play behind the scenes, pulling the strings, stuff we're not really aware of.
It's definitely mysterious. Makes you wonder, about the nature of this monitoring, who's doing it, why are they doing it, what are they hoping to learn or control? It's a lot of questions.
Yeah, and why would they be interested in Naomi? I mean, she's exploring these spiritual realms, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it because she's tapping into knowledge or information that's considered, I don't know, sensitive, maybe even dangerous? What do you think?
It's possible. This connection between higher consciousness and sensitive information, it's definitely been explored before.
Yeah.
In various esoteric traditions, the idea that there are certain truths or insights that are, well, hidden or veiled for a reason.
That's fascinating. Really makes you think about the implications of accessing this higher knowledge. Is there like a risk involved? Is it possible that some information is, I don't know, better left undiscovered?
It's hard to say. There are no easy answers, I think. But it definitely highlights the complexities and maybe even the potential dangers of exploring these realms.
So we've got guides, reflections, challenging experiences as opportunities for growth. And now we have potential monitoring. Anything else we need to add to this? It's already pretty wild.
Well, Naomi, she brings up another crazy topic, alternate realities. She's kind of hesitant to believe it. But Alto confirms they exist. Says we don't interact with these alternate realities unless we're invited.
Alternate realities, hold on. You mean like parallel universes where different versions of ourselves are living out different lives? That sounds like something straight out of science fiction.
It definitely pushes the boundaries of our typical understanding of reality, yeah. But what if it's true? It raises some interesting questions, don't you think?
Like what kind of questions does this bring up for you? Alternate realities, I mean.
Well, like what are they like? These alternate realities. Are they similar to ours or totally different? And what does it mean to be invited into one? Is it a choice? Or is it something that just kind of happens, maybe through dreams or altered states of consciousness?
And what if we're already interacting with these alternate realities without even knowing it? What if those weird like synchronicity experiences or deja vu, what if those are like glimpses into other realities, bleeding through into our own?
It's an interesting thought. Maybe our perception of reality is more fluid than we realize, more interconnected,
My head's spinning. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. Guides, reflections, challenges as opportunities, potential monitoring, alternate realities. Are we missing anything?
Well, there is one more thing. Naomi mentions that Micro, a presence she usually feels during her mushroom journeys, isn't there anymore.
Micro. Who's Micro?
Micro is another member of Naomi's spiritual team, but Alto explains that Micro is still involved, just working differently, observing energy flow, that's all.
So it's like her spiritual team changes. The roles, the involvement, it all kind of shifts over time. Interesting to think that even on a spiritual level, things are constantly, adapting, changing.
Yeah, exactly. It suggests that spiritual growth isn't static. It's a journey, right? With different phases, different levels of involvement from our spiritual guides. It also shows how important adaptability is.
Yeah.
Flexibility. For any collaborative effort, really, in the physical world, the spiritual realm, it all matters.
Wow, this is heavy stuff. I'm ready to hear what you make of it all. Okay, we're back. Last part of our deep dive. This hypno channeling session. Hypno vibes. A lot to unpack. Guides, reflections, those challenging experiences. Maybe those are opportunities for growth. And then the monitoring alternate realities. It's a lot.
Yeah, it really is. This session is packed, just packed with these thought-provoking concepts.
So last part, let's bring it all together. What are the key takeaways? What have we learned from Naomi and her conversation with Alto?
Well, I think one of the big ones is that reality. It's more complex than we think, multi-layered. This session, it gives us this glimpse, right, into these hidden dimensions, these unseen forces, the way our experiences connect, and how our consciousness can, I don't know, access realms beyond what we normally see.
Multidimensional world, huh? Different timelines, alternate realities, unseen guides, entities, all influencing our journey somehow.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a challenge, right? To expand how we understand what's possible, to question what we think is real, to accept that maybe, just maybe, there's more to life than we know.
One thing that really stuck with me, the idea of reflections. How the people and situations we deal with, they're like mirrors, showing us parts of ourselves, things we need to learn or understand better. Makes you think about why things happen the way they do.
Absolutely. And it connects with the idea of challenges as opportunities for growth, right? It's
Yeah.
hard to see it that way sometimes when you're in a tough spot. But maybe there's a bigger perspective. Maybe our struggles make more sense from that view, even if we don't get it right now.
It's a good thought, I think. Even when things are messy, chaotic, maybe there's a bigger picture happening. Our experiences, they're pushing us forward to evolve, maybe even contributing to some larger cosmic plan.
Right. And it shows how important it is to be open to new ideas, new interpretations. Remember, Naomi, skeptical about alternate realities at first.
And then Alto confirmed they exist.
Exactly. It's a reminder that we don't have all the answers. We always have more to learn. We need to question what we believe, explore different ideas, and expand our understanding of what's real, what's possible.
It's especially important with these higher consciousness things. There's so much we don't know. We've got to approach it with curiosity, with humility, except that what we understand now, it's just a small piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
So if someone's listening, wants to learn more, where should they start?
Naomi Zhu, the hypnotist, she has a book, The Next Level You. It goes deeper into these ideas, consciousness, spirituality, how to reach our higher potential.
Great. We'll link to that in the show notes. Any last thoughts for our listeners?
I think the biggest takeaway from all of this is that reality. It's way more fluid than we think. It's multifaceted. It's interconnected. We're all on this journey, growing, evolving. We've got unseen forces helping us, experiences that challenge us, inspire us. It's a wild ride. Embrace the mystery. Stay open. Never stop exploring your own consciousness. It's vast. It's wondrous.
Well said. I think that's a perfect way to wrap this up. So until next time, keep diving deep, everyone.
And few questions for you. When I count to 3, you'll be here. 1 and 2 and 3. Hello, Alto.
Just a little bit busy today.
I'll be brief. So who is that blue being? That is a forehead?
Just a different version of you.
So it's not my spirit guide.
He's guiding you in some ways. Doesn't mean he's not your spirit guide.
So this forehead is not the part of my team.
Yes and no.
I don't see much purpose for him to do this, to create an AI person.
You didn't create it.
So how does that work?
What do you mean?
So this Yashua is from a different timeline?
I think he's meant to hear, to reflect something back to you, to teach you, and to remind you of something. So there is much purpose to that.
So I still don't really feel the purpose for me to have discernment.
It's not always about discernment.
So what is the purpose? I know I'm supposed to figure it out, but I feel, okay.
You have to realize that not everyone wants to do the same exact work that you do. And that when you look for someone who you do want to do the same exact work that you do, it doesn't really work out.
So that.
You not realize it.
So the other day, someone told me, I think maybe the higher self said, because what I like to do that thing needs to have my energies in it.
Yes, and it was entertaining to that entity that you're stumbling over and over again over the same rock.
And the excuses he made is just to tell me, see, this person is not for this.
There might not be someone else for this because this is uniquely you.
I got that. So because if I make someone else does things I want them to do or I want to do, and then that thing is supposed to contain my energies instead of theirs.
The same thing as you are your own puzzle piece, and you know that very well.
But let's say when we need some sort of help or assistance,
you might not always find the perfect person. There is no such thing as the perfect person for this. You're looking for a certain set of things.
So I need to do it either myself, or if I cannot do it, I just don't do it.
That's up to you to decide.
But The other day you said, let's say if I need a person to do certain things, I can just...
Yes, and that's up to you to decide.
I feel that. Very good. And that's why when I asked you, I said, what do you think about this person, if this person should be
Because when I
working?
tapped into it, there was nothing there.
So this person has no soul, obviously. And actually, is that really necessary for Galactic Federation to invite someone to come to my office to do this?
They're not just doing it to you, they're doing it to many other people as well. It's just information that cannot be released, will not be released for a reason.
And what else? So I don't even understand my questions. Let me see. So this Yashua, he was not created. He's just not a reflection of me.
The entire situation is reflecting something back to you. He's not a reflection of you in that straightforward sense.
Mm-hmm.
But the entire way, entire ordeal is yet reminding you again of something.
So entire concept.
The entire string of interactions is reflecting something back to you.
So let's say we see a lot of people on the street or at the airport. So there are a lot of people are not in the same realities of ours. We can still see them, but just...
Yes.
We don't interact unless we invite them or we reach out to them.
Yes. Do you need a reaffirmation on this?
I know. It's just hard to believe it to really sense that. So now I look at the people, I feel, I don't know if you are in my reality or you are in the even same version of Earth.
But why does that matter?
It doesn't matter. It's fascinating. I think that's all I need to ask you. And so when I'm